Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 3DSWare review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Nano Assault X, which if you've never played it before, it's a dual stick shooter. And that's why I've got Classic Controller Pros in front of me. Because, as many people know, I've got bad eyesight, so when the XL came out I decided to upgrade. I then got sick to death of waiting for this to come out, the bigger one, and I decided to import it at the start of the year. It took so long to arrive from Japan, and the rules of importing into the UK changed along the way that I ended up overpaying for this, purely because of paying charges and duty and all that. Thank you very much, Royal Mail. Because nothing about it was on the customs website or anything. I'm not bitter. Anyway, so I ended up getting this early, and the only thing I actually had to play on it was Resident Evil, which I stopped playing a long time ago. So I thought I'd get it just in case Luigi's Mansion 2 or something like that used it. And seeing as they still hadn't announced when it was coming out in Europe, I thought it's a good move. Of course, while this was making its way over from Japan, they announced that we get it at the end of March. But I suppose this coming out at least gives me something to use with it. And the reason I've got the two of them here is purely for comparison, for people who might ask, and literally that is how much bigger you're talking it is. It's absolutely monstrous. It's the type of thing that you're approaching gamepad size. It's not quite, but you're approaching it. So anyway, shove this back in. The main reason I'm doing this is because when Resident Evil Revelations came out, and I kind of did a review of the circle pad, and I said there were a few things I didn't like about it. I didn't like that the volume was obscured. The volume's no longer obscured. The back is bigger now, and the only hole is that, so it's where you charge it. You've got access to your L and R buttons, however there's still a spare R button there. You still don't have access to your Wi-Fi, you still don't have access to your stylus, whereas before it was up there and you couldn't get it, now it's over there and you can't get it. But at least they've now made it so that you can turn the volume of the system up. So it's a slight improvement, but honestly not much. So anyway, I'm going to have to zoom the camera back in now. I had to zoom it out purely because of how large those things are. I'm also going to have to go straight into the options to reset the circle pad up, because obviously I've just switched it off, well, disconnected it, so connect, and it really is, it takes seconds to connect it. However, every time you put the system in sleep, it disconnects the circle pad, so that's a little annoying, but it's livable with. Anyway, Nano Assault X. For those who don't know, Nano Assault came out on the Wii U launch, and that was the only experience we in Europe had of it, because they never released the first Nano Assault. It was exclusive to America, possibly America and Japan. This is a remake of that. It's essentially Nano Assault 1.5. They've added a load of stuff to it, and they've made it a hell of a lot cheaper than a retail release. We still get ripped off on the price. America gets it like $15. We get it for £12.49 or €15, which is not a fair conversion. But then again, it's Europe. We always get ripped off. But you do get a hell of a lot of bang for your buck. It's just a huge game overall. So there's all sorts on at the starting menu. You've got story mode, arcade mode, which is like a challenge mode, boss rush mode, and survivor mode are unlockable, and they're just standard really. Survivor, obviously, the whole point is you survive, and boss rush, you go through all the bosses in order. To be fair, it mightn't be in order. I've not actually played through the boss rush yet. It might randomise them. I hope it does, because I kind of hate the ones that just a uniform and go boss 1, 2, 3. It gets a little boring. Anyway, Nano Shop, you can go in and you can convert your coins, which are otherwise useless. You know, those things that we were told that we'd collect every day and we'd use all the time, and then no actual software ever comes out to use them. So you can convert player coins, up to 20 at a go, to convert into Nano coins, and it is a straight conversion, 1 for 1. And you can then use those to buy songs and Nanopedia items. Nanopedia is basically, it's like a bestiary that you get on Final Fantasy games and things like that. You can go into it and view the enemies that you've paid to view, and you can zoom in on them, and you can tilt the camera and that around. It's just one of those things. It's, I suppose, something extra to do, and at least it gives you something to spend those coins on, because if you like myself, you've probably had 300 for nearly a year now and not really had anything to spend them on. So that's Nano Shop, Nanopedia explained, and Jukebox is self-explanatory. You just get the music and play that you've unlocked. Story mode, you go through, and as you play through the levels, you'll basically unlock new abilities and new secondary weapons and that. And that's pretty much where the challenges come into that. The challenges, you'll replay levels and there'll be special conditions like do not die, only use XYZ special weapon, don't use anything else, don't use a special weapon, just things like that. But it is a twin stick shooter, and therefore you're going to want to have the Circle Pad Pro. I'll be honest, I haven't actually played it without it, so I don't know what the touchscreen's like. I should probably do that before the end of the review, mainly because it's one of those that, because I had it, I thought, why, you know, not use it, especially after the extreme cost that it cost me to get it into the EU. So anyway, the standard thing is, the whole point of the missions is there's DNA strands around and you've got to fly around and collect them. You can then also fly around and kill enemies, and there'll be an enemy limit on how many that you can kill. There's different ways to set up your weapons. So for example, you probably see there I'm firing a tight shot together, and there I can spread it out a bit, and there I can spread it out a lot, and it adds a bit of strategy to the gameplay, because you want it'll like make you think, so should I be firing all my bullets forward so I can be really powerful and kill an enemy quickly, or should I cover myself a little bit or cover myself a lot? It's just one of those things. And when you kill an enemy, crystals come out and you can collect them. Bottom screen, I'm probably going to have to very quickly show you. You've got like the cell that you're currently playing, and it tells you your active organisms and that. It tells you the lives, which I've just actually lost one of. I've just noticed because I'm too busy looking at the bottom of the screen. I've just lost another one, blooming hell. And it tells you the gems that you've got, and that yellow bar is your secondary weapon, which the secondary weapons use different amounts of the bar. The one I've currently got equipped will basically means I get 4 shots before the bar's out, and you can then collect little yellow orbs that will appear out of enemies every now and then to replenish them a little bit. And it's just one of those. It's a fantastic twin stick shooter. When the Wii U version came out, there were a load of people slated it and said it's basic and it's a bit naff, and I thought, well, it's a bit harsh because it's actually a really good game. Now that I've played this one, I kind of see where they're coming from, because this is just so much the better game. I mean, if this was a 10, the Wii U one will probably be a 6 or something, you know. It really is that much of a drop. Boss-wise, I can show one of these off now before I try the touchscreen controls out. I'm assuming it's touchscreen. It might, after all, be them. It's why I'm going to take this off and try it out to tell you, the person watching the review, because otherwise what would the point of the video be? But I can do a boss fight while I've still got the dual stick ability on, I suppose, and they are really cool. Graphically, the bosses and graphically the whole game, I think, looks great. I'm really happy with it. Obviously, I've only seen it on stretched out screen because I can't really transfer my purchases to my small 3DS, which kind of sits and collects dust. The only reason I still have it is it's the Zelda one, which I will never ever sell the Zelda one. So I can't see what it looks like graphically on that, because usually things look a lot better on the smaller screen, but every now and then some games seem to be almost optimized for the big screen and they actually hold their own, because my brothers and mates use small screen 3DSs, so they'll be the first to tell me, yeah, that looks like a heap of crap on that one, or yeah, actually that looks really good. So it's one of those. I'll have to probably put a message or something in the box, when the description box, when my brother gets in and actually tells me what his looks like. That sounds wrong on so many levels, so I'm going to shut up now and take this off and test out the other control method. Right. Well, I've put the same stage on, and I've just put it on one of the challenge modes. This one's actually high score mode or something. And the touchscreen doesn't work, so you can see that I'm not firing anything, so it is definitely this. So you've simply got your fires up, fires down, although obviously you can't fire down on this stage, and you hold 2 together to fire diagonally. It works, I suppose. If you're used to playing games like this, like that, then you'll probably not really have any problem with it, because it's probably a more responsive buttons setup than I've played in a long time. But personally, I think it does require the Circle Pad Pro in order to play it properly. The only problem I've got with the Circle Pad Pro, I must admit, is I've always thought there's not enough grip on there. And on 2 of them together, I find myself constantly slipping off them accidentally, and I just wish that there was a way to put a little bit more grip on them. I'll have to look on the internet. Someone's probably came up with a fix, whether it be glue some glitter or something to it to create a little bit of a rough surface, or whether there's a like thumb strap that you can get or something which coats your thumb in rubber, because I see people, well, I used to see people using them for knitting work and things like that, and that might help me out, but that's just a problem myself. It's one of those, if you don't slip off the circle pads anywhere, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. It's just I myself do. But overall, the game benefits from using it. It definitely is a better game. Right then, I'm probably going to have to do another cut to then mention the meat and two veg of the game, all the different levels on that, and I'll also, to be fair, connect the Circle Pad Pro back up, because I might as well do. What I'm going to read out is basically the article that kind of made me want the game, because obviously I played it on the Wii U, and I knew I was probably going to end up getting it anyway, but while it is cheap for a retail game, it is still the most expensive eShop game, so I was unsure. And after reading the article, I thought, yeah, actually I'm going to have to get it, because it says, alongside the original 32 stages, it adds the challenge mode, the mission mode, and the survival mode. So I've already mentioned those modes, but it means you've got 32 levels and then another 3 modes to be going at, and all the stuff to unlock. It's not a small game. If you're thinking it's a rip-off for the price, the only way it's a rip-off is if you've I suppose, bought the 3DS original game if you're in America, and you've probably played it for hundreds of hours, then it mightn't be worth the extra cost to upgrade. Although, seeing as you can probably sell the cartridge version for a little bit, it's going to cost you a little less. And B, the only way to rip off would be that, well, in Europe, we're paying more than America is, but that's, well, you know, standard, I suppose. It's one of those things that you just have to learn to accept when you live in this continent. So, it is one of those things, though, that you'll have to make your own mind up, obviously, but I think there's a hell of a lot of content there. The price is kind of justified because it was originally supposed to be a cartridge game. I think I can only imagine their thought process behind it was, instead of releasing it again in Europe, but as a cartridge, which is going to cost us a lot more, we'll release it as a download, which will cost us a lot less, and we can charge a lot less than we would. Because honestly, if this game had came out for £30 a year ago, as a cartridge, I probably would have bought it. So the fact that I've instead been able to get it with better visuals and more gameplay and all sorts of other nice little additions for only £12.50, then I'm very happy with it. I think it is a fantastic game. Musically, I think it sounds great. It's a shame I can't let you listen to it. The only downside I've got with it, unless I just simply haven't unlocked something, I cannot find anywhere, and I will clarify this in the description box for those watching the vid, I can't find anywhere that this has any multiplayer, because the Wii U version had co-op. The reason I can't really test or anything is because, again, I don't have anyone who's got the game, but my brother does have it and will be coming around later after I've recorded the review. Much later than I've recorded the review, unfortunately. So that's why I'll have to put it in the description box and say, yep, while he was here, I was able to find co-op. You can play it, there's a versus mode, and be joyous and wonderful. But from the way things are going to it thinking that it's only a single player game, and then you won't be disappointed, because I was hoping for multiplayer, can't find the ability for multiplayer, and I'm a little disappointed in that, because I know it's an older game, so it would make sense that it's a step backwards, but when this game is better than the Wii U version in every single way, and it came out later than the Wii U version, it makes me wonder why they kind of removed the co-op ability, you know? Because it is something that they had to have been working on this at the same time as the other ones, so why couldn't they have thought, well, if we're adding co-op to this one, why not add it to that one, you know? But overall, it is a fantastic title. It's well worth looking into if you like twin-stick shooters and you've got a Circle Pad Pro. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel, because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.